Hi everybody, my name is Laura Fudge. I'm also known as Momma Lotus Love, and I want to share my story today about why I decided to become a coach. So I'm specifically a self-care and resilience coach, and I feel like everything that I share, everything I guide, comes from my own personal experience. When I was younger, I feel like I had a pretty rough kind of time growing up, and I don't want to go into too much detail, but a lot of it had to do with the fact that my father was in the Navy for 20 years. I was a Navy brat. I got moved around a lot, and then I felt kind of uprooted. And then come high school rolls around, and while even though by then we were a little more stable, I was sexually assaulted in high school, and it was really devastating. I was actually in denial for a while, but by the time I rolled around in college, I was very depressed. I had a lot of destructive behaviors. I was drinking a lot. I was looking for love in all the wrong places. I really just did not have my own self-love in mind. I just really didn't understand. So the light among all the depression in college was that I had some jobs, like part-time jobs while I was in school, and I was working at Old Navy to start off with. And I just loved working the register, chatting with people, helping people find stuff. And I realized that I just loved that one-on-one interaction. Then I moved up to a job at the Aveda school. So I worked at the front desk of the Aveda school in town, and I was able to help guests like find product. I was giving hand and arm massages, and I just realized that my passion was just being there for people. I just loved it. It really, helping them helped me heal. So by the time I graduated college, my degree is in comparative cultures and politics, and while I loved what I studied, it was basically like global empathy. It was very much about like cosmopolitanism. I realized that it wasn't necessarily going to line up with the job that I wanted to do or that I would really make money with. So I kind of listened to my inner voice at that time that said, look, service is where you want to be. Service is what makes you light up. So, since you already work at the cosmetology school, how about you give it a go? So, I actually chose to do the esthetician program, which is spa. So it's facials, waxing, makeup. And I found so much serenity on a daily basis serving people. Whenever I was in a facial and I would help them with aromatherapy, deep breathing, it would work the same for me. It was like so meditative for me to be in that space with someone and allow them that space to heal, that space to feel peace, that space to truly relax. It was so healing to me too. So I realized I had a gift for helping others find healing. And like I said, it was because I was also doing it for myself. So I decided that from there, I wanted to kind of go into teaching. And it was really nice because it kind of rolled up for me where I was able to turn around and teach osteology to students. And that's really when it hit me that I had so much to offer the world. I had so much to offer people from my story, from my experiences, and what I could do. So I examined the rest of my life, because at this point I was still having self-destructive behaviors while I went through SD school. I was smoking, I was drinking all the time, like it was bad. But when I finished my SD program, when I realized that instructing was on the horizon, I realized that I wanted to raise the vibrations of everything else. If osteology school and teaching made me feel so amazing, I needed the rest of my life to feel that way too. So I made choices that helped me to let go of those behaviors. And it had a lot to do with, I grew up Catholic, but for me it was just, call it God, call it the universe, source, whatever. To know that God loved me so deeply and so unconditionally, I had to finally believe in that myself, to know that I could also love myself that unconditionally and feel and allow it to come. So soon after I made that choice, like honestly, maybe just weeks after, that's when I met my husband. He and I met at a bar through mutual friends, and we fell immediately in love. I knew after our first date that I was going to marry him, and we were engaged after a year together. We were married 9 months later. We had our first son 6 months after that. Yeah, we were pregnant at our wedding by accident. And I mean, life has been bliss, and so many miracles have unfolded ever since I decided to love myself like God loves me, like the universe loves me. So I've essentially realized that my mission is to help guide people through that love, help to guide people through that sense of self-love. And I believe that it really stems from self-care. I mean, honestly, you know, meeting my husband and everything was not the end of my depression story by any means. I know being pregnant with Wesley was really kind of traumatic. It kind of triggered my PTSD from my sexual assault because my body was unfamiliar. My body was out of my control again. So I finally sought therapy. And in therapy, my wonderful psychologist helped me realize that self-care for me was integral in my role in the rest of the world. I could not show up fully. I could not pour from an empty cup until I cared for myself. So I was better able to show up for my husband, my son, my students when I cared for myself. So I remember it wasn't until my second pregnancy when I realized that therapy and self-care were only doing so much, and I finally needed to seek out medication. So truly, the turning point that got me to where I am today is that I went on Zoloft. Zoloft has allowed me to see clearly. It has allowed me to see beyond my anxiety and understand what are truly my own thoughts and what is my mental illness. So I know it's really taboo for people to talk about, you know, medication, but here I am. It did it for me. And I, you know, not that it's anybody's business, but I plan on staying on it and for my childbearing years. And then maybe once I'm done having children and my hormones might even out, I think then I will look into other methods. But for now, life is amazing. And I thank Zoloft for a large part of it. So anyways, now that I had gotten on Zoloft, I was finally able to wrestle with the idea of genuine self-care through exercise and nutrition. And it seems so simple. Our society has really blown up what exercise and nutrition should be or what it has to be. But I finally realized that exercise was a celebration of my body and not a punishment. And I realized that nutrition meant normal food was actually from a farm and not pizza and beer. Because I remember one day saying, I wish I could just eat normal food. And then I was like, but pizza and beer is not normal. So, wow, eye-opening. But I'm at a point in my life where I have witnessed so many miracles of my own accord by changing my mindset and understanding where I belong and what true self-care is, that my life has just blossomed ever since I did that. And what I want more than anything is the rest of the world to know that they are worthy of true care, that they are worthy of true self-love. So when my friend Katie, who is my Beachbody coach, messaged me and said, hey, I know you are passionate about sharing this, and I know you love yoga. What about trying like Pio? What about trying Beachbody coaching? Wow. And I told her, no. I was like, who am I to do that? Right after I, just figured this out myself. But the more I thought about it, I realized that Beachbody is an existing organization that thrives and has so much energy and experience and encouragement that they do exactly what I want to do. They encourage and love and support people through health and wellness. So I took the dive about a year ago, and I decided to see what it would be, because I knew that I would, live and learn at the very least. But right now I'm starting to really see the possibilities. I'm really starting to see how much I can grow from this organization. And not just that, not just Beachbody coaching, my Momma Lotus Love brand, I really want to take farther, where I'm going to be making digital courses about how to find a self-care routine that works for you and how to stick with it. I also have a free Facebook group called Restore the Warrior, where I just hold space for people to talk about self-care in general, like what works for them, what doesn't work for them. And my tagline is from meditation to medication. It truly is a safe space where we do not judge one another for our different methods. And it's our chance to really kind of talk about it. So, I don't know, my dream job down the road is in a couple of years to get certified in yoga instructing, to open a wellness studio where there are some spa services, there's like book clubs, there's mommy and me time, there's childcare, there's prenatal services, postpartum services, all this stuff, and a space to heal, and a space to love, and a space to support each other. And so yeah, I'm doing Beachbody coaching, but I see it as so much more. There's so much more to it. There's so much more to my plan. There's so much more to my past. And it's like this all comes together, but no matter what, I feel like my role is to help others know that they can love themselves, they can be resilient, they can get through the hard stuff, they can be a survivor, they don't have to be a victim. And they can truly build their lives knowing what's in their past, but using it to be stronger and using it to propel them forward. So, I don't know, I just really wanted to share this with everyone, and so that you guys really understood me better. Because, I don't know, one of these days I want to be a motivational speaker, I want to travel the world, I want to write books. I just really feel like I have a lot to share and a lot to teach other people from what I've gone through. And I know that if I can do it, if I can make my life this amazing from where I've come, that anybody can do it. So, all right, thanks for listening. And let me know if you want to join my Facebook group. Let me know if, coaching interests you or Beachbody at all. But otherwise, just let me know if you just need someone to talk to, because I'll be there. So, thanks. Have a good night, guys.